So for this project, I start with a 12 by 16 inch canvas that I had previously painted. And then I take the remainder of my golden molding paste and mix in regular acrylic paint called raw sienna. And then I take painter's tape and put it on in the shape of a pot, in the shape of a flower pot. And you don't want to push this down too hard, but yet you want it down firm enough that the molding paste does not seep under the tape. And I am looking for kind of a mottled appearance because I want it to look kind of like a terracotta pot. So after that I add a little bit more paint and kind of marble it in to give a little marbling effect. And then you do not wait for it to dry, you go ahead and take it off once you have it on, and you can use a Q-tip to get the extra off. And then I took a little white bowl and I broke it up with my nippers. And the reason I used my nippers instead of cracking it is I wanted it in really small pieces to make small petals for flowers. And after I had that all nipped up, the entire bowl, and I think I may have used something else also, another bowl or something, and I threw it into my tumbler along with some grit and water, and I tumbled it for about 4 days. And I really wish I would have tumbled it for kind of like 2 weeks, because it would have been nice if the petals were nice and rounded. The petals were smoothed out after the 4 days, you know, so that they weren't sharp or anything, but I kind of would have liked them a little bit smoother. Sometimes I get impatient and I start projects before I really should be. After I was done tumbling the glass, I got out the tops for the Ashland decorative filler. You can use anything. You can use pickled jar tops, you can use little bowls, anything, just so that the petals have a curved effect and they're not flat. So I put these little bottoms to the silicone mat down. I cut them into circles and put them down in these tops, and you can see how the ledge of them is holding the edges up, so they'll give it a little 3D effect. And I just went ahead and set up all the flowers like that. I think I had probably made about 10 flowers altogether, even though I may not have used them all. Once I had them set up, I went ahead and mixed up a small amount of resin, and I put resin in the center of all of them, and then I took beads, these beads, sparkly beads that I had picked up at Michael's, and put them in the center of each. And you can, you know, go ahead and add beads later on when you set up your project and add more resin to adhere it to the canvas, but I decided to go ahead and put beads in them to start. After they had set overnight, I went ahead and I removed them all from their little tops, and I used this heavy-duty scissors to remove the resin on the very back of them. Some of the extra resin. I probably didn't need to use as much resin as I did, and I just went ahead and cut that away from the back. Next, I started assembling the flowers on top of the canvas and just putting them how I wanted them. And then I dumped out my green glass. This is glass that I've picked up at garage sales and thrift stores, broken up and tumbled in my tumbler for up to a week. And I just took it and filled in all around the flowers. And just kind of messed around with it until I had it just the way I wanted it. And I think I may have either added another flower or changed a flower out one way or the other. But here I'm just picking through, finding the smallest green flowers or green leaves that I can find to put on it. And then I was ready for the resin. And after I mixed up the resin, I just started drizzling it over all of the flowers first. And I did mix up a lot of resin, more resin than I needed, which I usually do, but I was planning on doing another little project after, so I did end up using it all. When I was done mixing up the resin, I just started drizzling it over the glass first, and then using my hand to get it all over the rest of the canvas. This canvas is up on a couple of a couple of cups. And that's so that the canvas doesn't adhere to the paper underneath. When I was done with the project, I let it set overnight at temperatures between 72 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is in your best interest to cover the entire project with a dust cover. Hi everyone. So after the video went off, I decided it just needed something more. And so I went ahead and I put the butterflies on. And I think they look cute. I kind of tried to keep just the blues, and I did have to, use black for the body. But I think this pot turned out kind of cool. I don't know if I'd do it again. Of course, you could just paint it if you wanted to, if you're a good painter and can draw straight lines and whatnot. But I thought I would try it and see what it looked like using that molding paste. I've only used it a couple times, but boy, is that stuff expensive. I've seen other people do experiments with taking their paint and putting cornstarch in it or flour in it. And I did it, I think, with flour in it, and it kind of worked. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. I like using these three-dimensional flowers and making ahead of time in the little containers. I think they turn out really cool. I'm just gonna show it to you from the side. You can see how they stick out. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you want to be notified of future videos, go ahead and subscribe and you'll be notified. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.